And that is, of course, the redheaded third child, and that is Drive Impact. Oh, Sam, he said it. Drive Impact, and everyone that has been hit by it cringed. Drive Impact. This game's red focus. Well, I can't even say red focus because red focus was unlimited amount of armor. But it's not regular focus because focus was only one hit of armor. This is the super colorful graffiti splash of damage that you just throw out. Whether if you're a scrub, you just throw out because you just do it, or if you're a vet, you throw it out because hey, just do it, Nike baby. It's the same thing. But what it does, I think the biggest thing that it does is besides if you land it, if you get the read, if there may be a little autopilot-y, you could kind of disrupt it, kind of put a stop to it is fine. But the biggest thing I feel that Drive Impact has brought is still emphasizing the core concept of Street Fighter 6, which is the space control. Because once you hit like, and I was really making a kind of like a mission to kind of see the reactions of people when they got to like 3/4 of the stage. The percentage on Drive Impact coming out is even higher because, of course, you can block it, and if you block it, we're back to neutral. There is no like I'm not plus, right? I'm not plus. You're not plus. You're not like super minus or anything like that. Like it's not like I keep my turn. It's just no. We're back in neutral because the pushback, right? Once you get near the wall, for those that just aren't aware, you get basically a guarantee. You get a guaranteed hit because the wall gives you a wall splat. If you Drive Impact, even if they block it, it gives you a wall splat. If they hit it and they're in the air, they still get the wall splat, and you get at least one juggle. But if they're on the ground, you get a hit, a free hit. So that made the dance in this little box even more important. It emphasized the neutral game, the idea of controlling your spacing even more, because once now you're in this area, like it's more of a factor. And I don't want to say like, oh, it's an unblockable, you can't deal with it, you're checkmated. No, there's still like, let me think. You can parry a Drive Impact. You can straight up grab it. It's not invulnerable to grabs. You can react to it with your own Drive Impact, hence the 26, 27 frames I was talking about, because it's only one hit and you are allowed up to 3 hits. You could just mass jab if you can react to it enough and break it. You can super, because all supers break it. They break armor instantly on the impact. And you can critical art it, because it just straight up destroys it too.
And you can neutral jump it.
And thank you. And you could just straight up neutral jump it, because you have a big, colorful splash that literally is announcing to the fucking world and to the next 3 setups over you, like, I'm Drive Impacting. Do something. If you get caught in the taillights and you're at the end, at the edge of the stage, fucking sorry, bro. Like, you deserve to get hit. Like, that is literally like my 2 bits about it, because there's already calls for nerfs for it. Like, people are just like, it's too strong. Maybe if you're gonna tweak it, maybe make it cost a little bit more. That's about it. I'll give it that. If you want to tweak it, it costs 1 bar right now, right? Yes. Make it cost 2. You already give us 6. You're cutting it in half. So that way you're literally gonna cut it in half as to how many times you can do it. I think it's fine, because you literally have 7. I counted 7 right here live. Lucky 7 different ways you can counter it. It's not unblockable. It's not like something. If you're getting caught by it, sorry, bro. Fucking get your reaction game up. Like, I don't really know what else to say to you. Like, it's a scrub killer, I'll tell you that much too. Like, those that are trying to abuse it are going to be the ones that get fucking bodied for it. Because also, even if you get caught mid-button, you can cancel your button into Drive Rush on reaction. And it gets me almost as hype, not as hype as a perfect parry, but it gets me close, because I'm like, yeah, you fucked up. I'm about to fuck you up, because it'll slow down and tell you.
So I want to kind of talk about this, because I feel like it's important people to understand there's reason why there's this neutral is because you're supposed to be managing meter. And I know it's new to a lot of people because there's so many things to manage right now. It feels like that for some people, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's times where like I'll sit there and I'm like, oh shit, I had super for like the past 30 seconds.
Yeah, that is also
like, because I'm managing the other meter that's most important in neutral right now. But honestly, when you get to the corner, like, I feel like that's where Drive Impact becomes the most threatening, right? But it's also the most predictable, because
exactly,
it's easy. Don't get me wrong. when you're playing someone who isn't, obviously we weren't all well versed or anything the first day we were playing, but you started seeing like towards the third day, we're like looking.
You're
and
catching
for,
on,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
It stopped being a like, oh, when will it happen, or what if. It's more of when will it happen. Once you get to that range, your neutral game is changing, and you know it. Your opponent knows it. So ways you can predict it. You can jump, maybe, because they're not going to want to send it out if you jump. They're going to get scared. So if you maybe neutral jump a couple times, now you're sending signals like, I know you're trying it. So and because you can predict, it's that whole game. I know that you know that I know, which that then now adds. Emphasizes the neutral play. Braxton here straight up said it in the chat. He's stating that the corner's OP because the devs want you to avoid the corner. They want you to avoid burnout. They want you to use your resource and show you how important that drive bar really is. Some characters don't give a fuck. They could just throw it out and just spend it all. That's fine, and be in what's the state called, the burnout state. Others just get punished for you. Seeing it live right here. I'm getting fucked up by Meza because I got burnt out at the end because I used my drive rush. It's there. It happens. But that adds to the layers of it. That's the thing that people just are overseeing over like, oh, it's just a free move. Oh, I can't beat. No, bro. It's 7 ways from heaven can you fucking beat that shit. And you just chose none of them. I can't even say one. It was none of them.
I'll say this really quick. I'm pretty sure MJ could probably.
Yeah, MJ's gonna give his spiel next. Yeah, don't worry. I'm almost done my soapbox.
I hated it in the beginning, but as I started understanding that there's other tools to deal with it, you could do 1 jab, parry it, or 2 jabs, parry it. There's a lot of options against it. You could do 2 jabs and then do drive impact right back. But the biggest thing is people are probably gonna start seeing this more as. And I don't want them to, because there doesn't need to be a call for nerfs or anything like that. I think the game is actually kind of very well fleshed out, to the point where, I always say, if there's something I can hate about the game, at least one thing, but then everything else clouds my judgment to be like, maybe it's not that bad. I think the game is going to be really solid. I've been pretty on point most of the time. But I will say this. I feel like we're going to start seeing glimpses of the whole FADC situation talk, right? Where people didn't like it. Some people liked it. I liked it, but people didn't like the fact that it kind of dictated the game a little bit, at least in neutral. Well, this is now dictating the corner a little bit, and I hope people don't see it that way. But maybe I can be wrong.
But the main thing is it's dictated also because of resources, because you have less resources. This game, you're starting full bar. That's the other thing. The full drive bar is such a game changer because it doesn't dictate your resource management in that sense. You all are in the same fucking boat there from the rip. So it isn't about this character is going to build up meter faster than this character, so hence going to be able to FADC more or super more or whatever. From the rip, that's how it's going to be. It's just how you play. It is on you from the beginning. MJ, how you feeling about it?
I have a lot of thoughts about it. I think, generally speaking, it's way too early to ask for nerfs. I think it's, as we talked about, there's a lot of counters for it, but I think any mechanic that you can find easy solutions for within 3 days is a bad mechanic. I don't know why people want to have something where they feel like they don't have to train. Most people, when they first pick up Street Fighter, they're not checking dashes. You actually have to practice to check dashes. And dashes, by the way, are much faster than drive impact. Juicebox even brought up a good point. When game devs design something to be over 20 frames of startup, that means they want you to be able to react to it. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's such a jarring move if you're coming from Street Fighter V, or maybe if you're not coming from Street Fighter at all, to be able to say, I should be able to react to this perfectly, again, just within a few days. There are certain aspects of the game you're going to have to actually train. Not everything in a fighting game is going to be reactable right away. But the fact that it is over 20 frames means that with practice, it is 100% going to be reactable. Because if you can't do that after practice, there's so many other aspects of the game that you're not going to be able to do. But another aspect, I'm going to give credit where it's due. The old OG player, Graham Wolf, the old Balrog player. He was actually one of the best Vegas when Street Fighter V first came out. He was talking about the punishment. So when people do get on point and they do impact your impact, you spend 1 bar to do it. If they counter it and they punish you for it, you lose 2.5 bars.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, if I notice they lost 2.5 bars and they're close to burnout, I can spend my level 3. And then you can ultimately take 4.5 bars from somebody just from reacting to one drive impact. And a lot of people are like it's hard to deal with, but like once you get to that point where you can punish it reliably, you can really punish somebody for doing it. And then naturally over time, especially at high level, you're going to see it less and less because people know that the reward isn't going to match the risk. It's once people are able to react to it. But generally speaking, I don't like when people think that they should have answers 3 days into a game.
Yeah, that's.
I don't disagree.
So just to put on that whole thing, the 20 frames thing. Let's just add the 20 plus frames. And once again, just because it's designed, I didn't do it because it looks cool. There's a huge fucking color splotch on the screen. Like how? Yeah. How do you miss that? Like it's literally like I would have to literally stand next to you and just fucking like just yell in your ear. Yo, jump, parry, do something. Sorry for yelling, but like it's infuriating. I'm like, bro, by the end of day 1, motherfuckers, is like you gotta block, or if you block it, you're in a corner, you ate that shit, or just do 7 other things. Like it just blows. Even if you're colorblind, you can even throw that one out there. Even if you're colorblind, it's still gonna show up as fucking splotches. Like do something.
I will say 2 things real quick, and then. I know we could talk about this for like the next 3 or 4 hours, but I just want to say, one, I 1000% agree with MJ, and I felt like you'll understand this. I sat next to Zhang, and I told Zhang, I said, he was like, why did you spin your meter? You could have just saved it. I was like, no. I was like, you got to understand, if I super him now, he goes into exhaustion, and then I still have my own personal meter to hold on to. He was like, well, you could have just did level 2 into level 1. I was like, no, that does not work for what I'm trying to do. So, like, I appreciate you saying that because I felt like maybe I'm crazy for thinking this ahead of time, but I was like, I'm on the right path, so it's cool. I'm gonna be a Street Fighter 6 player for sure. But I just wanted to say, like, I definitely saw myself trying to stop drive impact constantly throughout a lot of my adventure playing the game. Like, I know there's other aspects people want to learn, like some people just want to win. I was like, I just want to destroy drive impact. You can ask Dre, I was getting frustrated. I was like, I fucking hate this move.
That's a day 1. That's a day 1 killer right there.
Yeah, I was like, I could just jab, and I just need to know when I see it and I visually see it, I'm just gonna parry it because I get so much more out of parrying it than just drive impacting back all the time. So, and that depends. It depends where I'm at, right? If I'm in a corner, it may not be beneficial for me to not parry because I still get meter back for parrying, and I can just throw you in the corner. Now it's my turn.
And I also want to be clear, like not to just keep killing on it. Drive impact has its places for sure. Like it does. Yes, the corner is obvious, but I'm also thinking once again the neutral, right? Yeah. It starts even from the middle. There are characters that just have better buttons, or maybe their sequences are not very fast. Drive impact is a way to that if you make the read and say you just don't have an answer, so rather than Capcom saying, well, guess you're fucked, go play somebody else, they're like, well, use this mechanic to bridge that gap. Yes, you have drive rush and you have to bank on being able to whiff punish, but what if you're maybe not good at it? A, maybe you're not good at it. B, maybe your character's not good at it. And then C, you understand maybe the other character. You can close that gap. You can have just a little, like I want to say a little bit of a crutch, but because, you might say, oh, but that's ridiculous, Crash. That means they're going to get it for free. I'm like, well, it scales hard on drive impact anyway, so they're not getting the full reward. So yes, they took the shortcut, but they're also not going to get the full reward for it. But there's still a use case there.
I would say a good example of that it would be with projectiles.
Yes.
Where not every character has a reliable anti-projectile move, but you just
know that.
Yeah. In this range.
I don't want to eat a crouch. I don't want to eat a crouching forward Hadouken every fucking match. Like it's good. It's I know some of y'all don't remember the Street Fighter 4 days because maybe y'all came in Street Fighter 5, but yeah, that was a fucking problem, and it's gonna be a bigger problem here because it's really good, and he's even better now. So it's like, and he's fundamental. This is Mr. Vanilla. This is Street Fighter incarnate. So the game. And some characters are not Street Fighter incarnate. Jury can't deal with it that well. Like my standing roundhouse is a great whiff punishing move, but because his crouching forward is very low and her standing roundhouse is high, and my crouching forward is not as good as his. Like maybe my standing medium kick is good because it's like a 4-framer or a 5-framer. But like I'd rather not bank on that. If I read, I'm like, you're gonna crouch forward and you're already buffering, because 9 times out of 10 they want to buffer because they want to be safe. Even if they're gonna hit, they'll get the reward for getting that damage. But now I get to punish them for just blindly acting on that versus, kind of really trying to play the footsie game correctly. So now Drive Impact has a positive use case that is outside of like, oh, it's a scrub killer, it's OP in the corner. Like, yes, there are some, I want to say negatives, but it's like, that's just day one shit. People said the same shit about focus attack. They really said it when focus attack, red focus became a thing. Y'all not remember that shit?
Yeah.
Like, did you guys forget? It. Like
3 bars? Oh
yeah, like we got 7 ways to beat it. In 4, it was shit like, what was your armor breaking move? Oh, it sucks?
Yeah,
man, that sucks for you. Can you FADC back? No. Did you grab? No.
Right.
What else? You had the mass jab like as quick as you can so you can get the second hit. That's it, right? Or super maybe. 5? Right.
But yeah, jump. I was gonna say, I think it's a good example of what I think is a big part of Street Fighter V. I think it's really about knowledge checks.
Yes.
And I think one of the issues that happened with Street Fighter V is for a lot of people who came from 4, especially competitively, they said it's like hard to separate the pros from the average players because the game mechanics like allowed people to come back easily. Mm-hmm. I think this game, you're going to be able to tell like within the first 5 minutes how serious someone takes the game by how they're handling Drive Impact. Like you can tell, like this person's a tournament player.
There's your flag.
And you'll probably see when you see 2 tournament players, you probably won't see Drive Impact that much. But if you see somebody who's depending on it a lot, or if you see somebody who's not reacting to it properly, they're probably like not investing that much time into the game.
I was gonna say it is gonna be the biggest flag to just state like the status of that. I want to say not all the time, because sometimes you do it to also read, right? Like. I'll keep it 100. If I know you're gonna try to throw a fireball in the beginning of the round, I'm gonna check you with Drive Impact just to see, just to tell you, be like, stop doing the same shit because I already know you're gonna do it. So get checked, right? Like, that's a G check, that's a gut check, that's all that was. But past that, like you said, MJ, it's really gonna be a flag to tell like who's depending on it, and those that are gonna depend on it, 9 times out of 10, your neutral probably fucking sucks. Sorry, bro. Like get better. That's just the name of the game.
Do you know? I'm gonna make a really quick reference, and then we'll, and then I think you guys can probably agree. I feel like if you were looking at the 3 kids in the family, the first child that is like the most successful, the most confident in everything they do, that right there is Drive Rush, and then you have the
Please don't
youngest,
say the middle child is. Oh, okay. I was gonna say
the youngest is Drive Impact. We know that. All right, Drive Impact gets away with so much, right? They could just kind of get away with doing some things, and the parents like, oh yeah, it's okay. It happened. You hate to see it happen, but it does. So, and then you have the middle child, who's like we kind of ignore you, which is Perry, because people don't really want to do it. So they just.
I was just more interested in seeing who the middle child was, because I'm the middle child.
Perry. Well, I mean,
okay, well, fuck me. My parents didn't love me, I guess.
Don't forget, but that's why we play Third Strike.
Oh,
so
okay.
Use the Perry. But keep in mind, there's also the other child that nobody ever talks about. Which I
think is incredibly underrated.
You mean the one that he had an affair with? Oh, sorry. What's that?
No, the reversal drive is so.
Oh yes, the reversal drive, absolutely. Because I want to be honest, it's fucking kind of expensive.
It's costly. Yeah,
it is expensive, and I honestly just didn't have a situation where I wanted to use it that often. It's so tough. It's really tough. I think I did it accidentally like 3 times.
So I'm the opposite, where when you both were experimenting with Perry, I was using drive reversal like crazy because I think it's one of the best tools that you can use when you're cornered. And the reason why is it blows up drive impact. Like if somebody does a button into drive impact and you V reversal, it destroys drive impact and they still get pushed back either way. Like obviously there's still ways to beat it. It's like,
but why not just drive impact them back and now spend all that meter?
No, because you can't V reversal drive impact. You're V reversaling the button.
Oh, the button. Oh, my bad. Yeah. You're right.
So, but the thing is, like, when you're V reversaling that button, you don't have to worry about like, oh, what if they do drive button into drive impact? It's gonna blow. It's gonna blow that up.
Okay.
So I think
you're not wasting meter to essentially be scared of that situation.
Exactly.
Like if they reverse back to you. Yeah.
because once you started playing better players, they wouldn't do raw drive impact in the corner because that's when everybody like we're just looking for is like when he's going to do it, then I'm going to counter with my drive impact. So I noticed like the next like layer was people would do like button sequences into drive impact.
I definitely
take
was.
Your focus off of that.
Yeah, I definitely was.
But the thing that stopped that for me was the drive reversal. I was like, I'm in the corner. All I need to do is just block one button, and once I block it, they get sent full screen, and then I don't have to fear the corner as much. But it just adds to the layers because I think if drive reversal wasn't there, buttons into drive impact would be
ridiculous.
Too OP.
Yeah, because it's almost a checkmate. It's like, what are you gonna do? There's like nothing that can be done, right? Wow, I didn't think about that. Well, it's funny. I definitely
flesh that out.
I definitely put people in that situation because I thought I was being super 5-head, but it was because obviously the game's new and we're all still getting into it. So good to know. But I think overall, like impressions, after spending the weekend playing, I think it was for me, it's like close to 30 hours, something like that. Like I spent a lot of time between 3 days to play, but I think the system is very, very well balanced. You can tweak it. There's nothing egregious that is like needs to be addressed right now. If this game came out tomorrow, I think we would all be good still. Yeah. I think Street Fighter 6 would already be in a good place. But some tweakage maybe to the drive impact in a sense of maybe the cost is it. Like honestly, everything else about it, I don't see a problem in it like really at all. That's just me. But if they want to, I don't want to say appease, I don't want to say bend to the Twitter heads and the fucking Twitter eggs, because Twitter ain't a real fucking place, guys. It's not really a big deal. People will buy it. Like if Capcom, if you're afraid, don't be afraid. Motherfuckers will buy it anyway. They'll be mad. They'll be like, fuck these guys. Add funds to wallet, man. Fuck Capcom, all this shit starting up. Oh, let me get the DLC too while I'm at it. Like they'll still buy this shit. Don't let that like kind of the casuals will love it. Like casuals will be all about it. Because remember, once again, guys, like I don't know how many times I got to emphasize this. We as a competitive group, we are the minority compared to the vast amount of units that they sell to the masses and who they want to appeal to. Yes, they are doing us a favor by listening to us, by giving us a beta, giving us feedback forms to give back to them, doing all this shit, getting community members involved. They're doing us a favor. They could easily turn that shit off and be like, fuck y'all, whatever we put out is what we put out. And you guys can just either fucking buy it and get into CPT or don't. And, eat a dick. Like that, they could just do that. But they're doing us a favor. So like, they don't really have to bend to our will or the will of these Twitter heads. But they can at least take this and look at it as constructive feedback. Could the drive impact be tweaked a little bit? Sure. Everyone's thoughts on, the way the neutral is now, how the buttons are, how everyone's mashing jab everywhere because you can't respect it. But that's day one shit. Everyone was doing it in fucking Strive beta. We're learning. It's not like how the game's going to be. Once you figure out like, for me, my checks are standing medium punch to crouching medium punch is a frame trap. Like you touch in between there, you're gonna get blown up unless you're maybe I think 4 frames. Like, and even then it has to reach, yada yada yada. Like, it's day one stuff. But the game, I think overall, it's in a great spot to be